Welcome to the History Hunter and our small adventures with the World War II time frame. It is History Hunter
Eagle Eyes.
and Eagle Eyes. We are out. We are going to find some history here on the Atlantic Wall. The Germans dug in here and they said this is going to be ours, and we are going to find the traces of the past. So join us and let's go out and find that right now. Let me see if I can put this into context. All of these pieces here, helmet, machine gun belt, cartridges, barbed wire, mortar, hand grenades, S-mines, all of these took place up here and played a part in that defensive position. By the way, this is something that one of our supporters made. Roy, thank you for that. Beautiful pieces and beautiful, wonderful for me to be able to show people how these things works. This position here, well, before the war even started, Hitler sent out spies to figure out where to put defensive positions and all of that. And this is one of these places. And they figure out that they needed to have this little hill really fortified because it protected something that was up here. So it was quite important to make sure that the Allies couldn't come in from here. And then they had this hill that they needed to fortify. We found a lot of trenches. We found some incredible machine gun positions, at least 7. There was a crew of 35 to 40 guys up there, and even an anti-aircraft gun. So what we're going to do is going to show you something really spectacular up there, and all of the machine gun positions are really, really interesting. If you really want to help us to reach more people, because the algorithm of YouTube is not helping the history channel so much anymore, all you have to do is watch the video in full length, or watch more of our videos in full length, because we do a lot of hard work. We research, travel, and go to these locations, and if you kind of will help us out, well, that's the only thing you have to do. But now, let's go out and find this place, and I'll share all the details with you. Right here where we are standing, there used to be a huge German barrack building in the near vicinity. The Germans had Flak. Flak stands for Flugzeugabwehrkanone, and I would guess this, well, that is actually a piece of the lock system that was once in the barrack here. 100% sure of that, because you can still find pieces of the past right there. And there's another one. See that? Looks like to be a piece of a bunker, a oven that was in this structure. But we are here to find some features that are around here, because they had anti-aircraft gun positions here, and they were most needed because this was a very important strategic position, because there was a huge investment that the Germans had further up on the mountainside, and we're going to show you that as well later. But now let's see if we can climb up to the hill here and find the first pieces of the history here. This is almost impossible for you to see. Can you see the detail that made the transportation of the troops much easier? It's right there. There is actually concrete steps. Look at that. They're here. There's another one. Once upon a time, the German troops transported themselves up through these stairs. And we are going to go in the footsteps of these soldiers. This was the Kriegsmarine Abteilung, or German Navy divisions that controlled this flak, the anti-aircraft gun position. And everybody knows that in military terms, there's a crow, please be quiet. In military terms, height or altitude is advantage. And that's why they put it up here. And I hope that we're going to find both some of the anti-aircraft gun positions, but there's also a very cool set of trench systems still up on the ridge here. Eagle Eye is taking point. He's in the lead. He's got his little rifle, and he is ready to take out anyone who comes down the hill. And he's also the scouter. He's not Eagle Eyes for nothing. And the other day we actually spotted 2 wonderful eagles up in the mountainside, and that was such an impressive sight. We just dropped the camera and we stood and just admired those incredible birds up here in the mountainside. See that? That's a reinforcement kind of pipe put in there to keep the blocks of rock steady so they don't slide out when it's winter time. And we are still coming up towards the first little fantastic detail. Can you see it? Can you see here? This just a tiny little opening for you to see, but inside here was one of the workstations of the German soldiers. Today it is almost totally impossible to see, but right there is a fighting position of the German Third Reich right here. So you can see it's totally overgrown, but it's a really hefty little fighting position. And you can see the trench coming in here, and then you have this square hole. And I am guessing this could be a mortar pit, or could be an advanced, so-called advanced munition storage for the flak crews. And then there would be wooden top roof with camouflage canvas and moss and all of that on top. But this is the first just tiny little clue of what is here. Can you see it? You can't? This is a formidable fighting position, stretched over hundreds of meters, and you're going to see that further up as well. You see the switch here? This is lower land, this is up here in the height, or the altitude higher up, and you can see again little fighting position right there. And then when I go with the camera like here, you can see it continues down into the terrain. And that is what was the purpose of this position, to fortify the hill, to be able to prevent anyone from entering a road which is further down here. And if you had the kind of position up here, well, you were able to take out whoever come this direction. And I go up here, you can see this here, trench system, all along the ridge here, all along here. And let me show you something here. There's a huge cutout there, you see that? That is actually a place where they put a barrack. So you can see it still continues up the hillside here. And these are, make no mistakes, incredible, powerful fighting positions, because it's impossible to take out an enemy which is situated much higher than you and has the whole overview. And that is why they built this here. This is basically a cutout that they made so they could put a barrack in here. And that barrack is long gone, but that is very often what they did. Let me show you a picture of something that could kind of tell you a little bit about how this was, why it was kind of tucked in behind walls. Let me show you this picture here. See that? That is what it was all about, to cover up the cabin or wood barrack that was put here, because the crews needed somewhere to stay. And this is where they did that. And you can see they have direct access to the fighting trench and the fighting positions, direct access right out from the barrack. And that is pretty neat to see. So they have a normal access here, it seems. And then this huge square, that is exactly where the barrack once stood. And we are heading out for the top there, because I'm gonna see if we can find, there's supposed to be an anti-aircraft gun position up here. So let's see if we can find that. We thought we'd just go down into the barrack, little hole here. And you can see now why they put this wall, protective wall around. It's just to make sure that the soldiers couldn't be hit by air raid or anything like that. When you come up here, there's a ton of rock here, but this wooden construction is long gone. It was looted after the war. Oh crikey, I'm almost going on my butt here. It was taken away after the war. The locals wanted revenge, and they got it by removing everything that could have windows, doors, anything. And also here you can see next to the exit from the barrack, look at that insane machine gun position there. That little hole, that little pipe, that's where you put down a quick mount machine gun attachment. And then of course the whole downhill would be the area that you could control. I have a very qualified illustrator, and here you can see how that would work. So he can stand up here at higher grounds, and he could take out anything that would come up this little hillside here. Excellent eagle eyes, thank you for the illustration. Yeah, it's good to have eagle eyes. He's got the imagination, as a child should. Yeah, got a bit crazy. He said the enemy was very near. But machine gun position right next to the barrack. This little set of trench here with concrete leading into the barrack, and then you have the barrack itself, and then you can fly down the trenches here to the fighting positions further down, and the long trench that also continues up there. Eagle Eyes gave me a challenge that I'm going to transfer to you, and he said let them see if they can see it. So I'm going to start from here. I'm going to pan to the left, and when you see it, give me a shout. Can you see it?
Comment.
Where? There? Really? Where?
Right there.
Right there. That's another position. We are definitely going down and check it out.
There.
Yep. As we're walking down to this position, I want to say a massive thank you to all of you who subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell, all of that, because you're really helping us out to reach more targets. And look at this place. This is something you have to research a lot about before you can even start to finding it. And we do that, and we do it because we love to share, we love to show it to others so that they can learn from it. And I want to say again, thank you for being here. And to our Patreon and PayPal supporters, you are really the guys and girls who makes this come true. So greatly appreciate your kind support. So if you want to check out this little thing here. Did you know that you can become a World War II History Hunter team member, and the artifacts here could be passed on to you in this manner and fashion here by creating beautiful World War II dioramas and displays? You can be the future keeper of something very, very special by the history and the history hunting that we share together. Check out the link in the video description. You can click that and you can become a Patreon team member if you want to. Different kind of perks with for your eyes only videos, travel vlogs, restoration projects, all of that good stuff. And if you want to know more, check out the supporter videos in the beginning of each month. But now let's continue our little adventure. Yeah, so you can become the future owner of a little piece of history yourself if you want to. But right here you have another fighting position. See that? And it's not too easy to see, but right there, there's the pocket. There's a munition pocket right there, and this is the entrance area. You see where you attach the machine gun on that spigot. And guess what? Anyone who would try and get in from this direction, well, they would have a really, really bad day. So just a tiny little machine gun outpost, but let me tell you, when we talk about the Atlantic Wall, most people would say, oh, that's in Normandy and all that. No, it's not. It's spread over like 20,000 pieces of structures all over Europe. And it runs from the bottom of France to the top of Scandinavia, and each and every one of them, even the tiniest positions like this, there's no coincidence that there's a machine gun position here pointing to nothing. It's actually really important that it's here, because when they are connected together, they will take out the whole area, and there will be no crossfires that they can damage themselves with or anything like that. But they can take out the whole area in a swoop, and this is planned. And most of it was planned many years before the war even started. So you have German tourists, doctors or whatever, took the leisurely little trip with a camera. Of course, with a camera, they went into the beautiful nature and they started to record and take pictures, and that went back to the Reich system, which then transformed the plans into action. And some of these were planned even several years before they came. So each and every one of them are built with high precision and high definition of why it should be there. Eagle Eyes is such a good spotter. He said there's something in there, and it is. Haven't got a clue. And where is he pointing at? Down here. I don't know how we can see these things, but there are metal pieces laying around here. Where? Okay. Oh, I can see it. Some of these pieces could have been in use during those days. There could be the rings for the machine gun tubrocks and all of that. Okay, I cannot go here, but I can actually see a massive metal ring there. Let me see if I can get you down there with the zoom. Can you see it? How did he spot that from that far away? I really can't comprehend it. He's got eagle eyes, that's for sure. All right, we're going to find more of the trench system, so come on, let's go. So, Hans, Helmut, Wilhelm, Reinhard, they all came here. They were sent here to this desolate position on the Atlantic wall. And you can see here, this is built with a lot of effort. So this is to protect yourself when you go up and down the mountainside to this third machine gun position. And you can see here, it's basically the same. You have the half circle there, you have the spigot coming up, you have the trench for the soldier to rapidly transport himself up and down. And this could have been Hans Steinfeld's place to be at if the alarm went off. And why was he here? Well, sometimes they didn't know, but I can tell you they were here for a very special reason, and that reason is to be found all the way up there actually. So this is an outpost to protect a even more crazy installment. So this is to protect and prevent people from being able to venture up to that top. Well, that's going to be another venture, as I said, but you are going to love that. But this is the place where Reinhard and all of the rest of the German young men from 16 years older, they actually were sent here, and sometimes they didn't even know what they were doing. They were just told to do something and they had to obey orders. It is crazy to see this ridge here. It is fascinating to see how much structures there are here. Look at that. It is massively fortified, and all of this is to prevent anyone to pass in this valley, because that is where they thought the advance from the Allied commandos or invasion would come if they wanted to take the highly important position on the top there. And look at these trenches here. They are insanely well built, and they're here today. And that's a long time they've been standing here. We're coming up to this next machine gun position right there. Again, you can see that pocket, and this one has two. The half circle piece is there with a spigot, and the half circle piece is there with a spigot. And look at how it snarls down there. Absolutely stunning to see. And this is just as much as a battlefield area as Eastern Front of Stalingrad or whatever. But you know, at some of these locations, not even one single bullet was fired. So this is how it would be to follow a German soldier in the trench system. He's now on a guard duty round. He's looking around, he's checking out that the munition is here, the rifle and the machine gun is ready, there's a stack of hand grenades there, and he continues down the insane trench system here. And it seems like it goes forever, but he's very well familiar where it goes to and where it leads to. And you can see that he has no problem to transport himself very, very quickly from one side of the trench system to the other side of the trench system. So the place that Eagle Eyes went into now is also a machine gun position. You can see this is where they stack the ammunition. And in the terrain there would be cables for the telephones, so they can actually have control of what is what. And here there would be a spigot. It's probably taken away. It's metal, you know, and that was highly sought after the war. And you can see a couple of 100 meters up there, but the enemy wouldn't be up there. The enemy would first had to start down here where that lady actually with the dog goes. And we need a sniper. Nevertheless, this is so intense. It's so intense, and it's so fascinating to see. These are also spread all over. These are machine gun spigots. So you can quickly grab a machine gun, move it to this one, maybe the next one, and so forth, so forth. So they were also spread all over the hill here, and they were casted, mounted, and boom, ready for action. There you go, and we will for sure show you more from this area later because it's massive. It's got some really interesting features further up in the hillside where I showed you on the top there, and there are some incredible kind of infrastructure over there, and that's going to be so nice to show you. As I said, we do travel, we do extensive research, and we go to these locations and we spend countless hours doing what you see. So hope maybe if you have the chance, you can check out this little super thanks feature that we have here. This thing helps us to put some gasoline into the fuel tank and grab the car and go out and find more history for you. At least watch the videos in full length. As I said, that is really helpful as the algorithm is not as favorable as it used to be for the history kind of hunting channels like we do. So we greatly appreciate each and every one of you and your great support. Thank you to our team members on Patreon. Thank you to all of you who donate on the PayPal thing. And if you want to check out the special supporter videos in the beginning of each month, you can do that. Other than that, what can I say? It was a pleasure to have you here. We will definitely meet you out there in the next one. So stay safe, keep smiling, and see you later.